My sister banned me from her wedding, claiming her fiancé has feelings for me. Now he's refusing to marry her over it. My sister called me last Tuesday at 11 p.m. and told me I wasn't invited to her wedding anymore. Just like that, no warning. She was crying and yelling at the same time, saying her fiancé Greg had feelings for me and she couldn't handle seeing me walk down the aisle as her bridesmaid. I was so confused. Greg and I barely talked. We'd maybe had 3 actual conversations in the year they'd been together. Once about the weather at a BBQ, once about what Netflix show to put on, and once when he asked where the bathroom was at my apartment. That was it. I tried explaining this to her, but she wasn't listening. She kept bringing up how he laughed too hard at my joke about the burnt lasagna at Christmas dinner, how he asked what I did for work, how he looked at me during her birthday party last month. I told her Greg was just being polite and normal, but she screamed that I was blind and hung up on me. The next morning, I got a text from my mom saying I needed to apologize to my sister for causing drama. I hadn't done anything, but apparently the whole family already knew. My aunt sent me a passive-aggressive message about respecting boundaries. My cousin posted something vague on Instagram about fake people. I decided to just let it go. If she wanted me out of the wedding that badly, fine. I wasn't going to beg. 3 days passed, and everything went silent. Then Saturday afternoon, Greg showed up at my door holding a coffee and looking absolutely destroyed. He asked if we could talk. I let him in, and he sat on my couch with his head in his hands. He told me my sister had confessed to him why she uninvited me. He said he stared at her for a full minute trying to process what she'd just accused him of. Greg told her he had 0 feelings for me, that I was nice but he barely knew me. He asked her where this was coming from and she started listing off the same stuff she yelled at me about. The lasagna joke, the work question, the birthday party glance. He told her she was being ridiculous and that banning me from the wedding over her own insecurity was cruel and unfair. She doubled down, said if he really loved her, he'd understand why she had to protect herself. That's when Greg said he couldn't marry someone who would treat family like that over made-up scenarios in her head. He called off the wedding right there, told her he needed time to think about whether they even had a future. My sister apparently broke down and begged him to stay, but he left anyway. That was 2 days ago. Now my phone won't stop blowing up. My sister is sending me paragraphs about how I ruined her life, how Greg was the one and I destroyed everything. My mom is demanding I fix this. My dad called and asked what I did to Greg to make him call off the wedding. Nobody is listening when I say I literally did nothing. My sister posted on Facebook this morning that the wedding is postponed due to family interference. Half the comments are people asking what happened. The other half are telling her they're praying for her. 3 of her friends messaged me privately asking if the rumors about me and Greg were true. Greg texted me yesterday saying he's staying at his brother's place and needs space from everyone. He apologized for dragging me into this mess. I told him it wasn't his fault, but he just sent back a thumbs up and hasn't responded since. My sister showed up at my apartment last night at almost midnight banging on the door. I didn't answer. She stood outside yelling that I seduced her fiancé and played innocent, that I always had to be the center of attention, that everyone loved me more than her, and now I'd taken the one good thing she had. I looked through the peephole, and she was crying so hard she could barely stand. My neighbor came out and asked if everything was okay. My sister called him a nosy jerk and left. This morning there were 4 missed calls from my mom and a voicemail saying I needed to go apologize and convince Greg to forgive my sister.